Howdy and hello, I am Seattle's one and only Glamazon goddess and queen of the pigs, IsabellaExtynn, and welcome to another episode of... The Race is On. Welcome on back. Today we are discussing Season 12, Episode 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and this episode was one-woman shows. And let me tell you what, this is my gig. This is what I do. I am a cabaret girl. So this episode is the episode I was the most excited for. But before we dive into the episode, I need to introduce my very special guest for today. She is the Black American Princess. Give it up for Issa Man.
Hi. That has a nice ring to it. I really like that. I'm going to keep that.
I'm telling you, that is the name of your first album, Black American Princess. You are putting out some really fantastic, amazing art right now. Some of the videos that you've been posting up for like the Lashes Living Room Edition are stunning.
Please.
Thank you very much. That's really, really sweet. I think I'm just really lucky that I happen to live with a photographer in the middle of we have nothing to do other than just shoot stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited. We've been shooting, because I imagine a lot of people aren't really working right now, a lot of drag queens. So I have nothing but time. So we've just been filming constantly.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been filming and editing. Really, I'm trying to use this as an opportunity to really grasp for some goals, you know?
I feel this is very much so been bucket list time, drag, everything I've wanted to do drag. I've just been
yeah, might as well. I mean, and there's no wrong way to go through quarantine, but it's such a great opportunity for us, to look on the bright side and try to, achieve some goals that we've had.
Also, yeah, and if you want to be lazy, be lazy.
Yeah. Other than just making a lot of art, how has quarantine been going? You've been surviving, making it?
I've been surviving. I feel I've been very blessed and privileged. I've lived with really awesome roommates. My boyfriend quarantines with me, so for the most part, I've been really, really lucky. Yeah. At least the people I've been in contact with, people are happy and safe for the most part, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I think we're all, adjusting because we have to. We're creatures of our environment, and so we have to adapt to our environment. It's just, this digital drag scene is a whole lot of work, I tell you what.
And it's a whole different ball game, I feel like. I kind of hate and I kind of love that, though.
Yeah, me too. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I will say, though, it is not okay that summer decided to hit today. Because I was trying to film outside, and I was drenched. I lost one whole brow earlier. I had to replace the brow. It was a situation.
Mama, she was wet today. She was very wet today.
Yeah. For all our viewers out there, make sure you go and follow Issa on Instagram at Issa Man Official, and also you can tip her on Venmo at Issa Man Official as well. Also, what is your YouTube channel?
I think it's just going to be Issa Man Official.
Issa Man Official. Good. Keep it simple.
Good old branding.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't think by the time this video will be out, I don't think we're going to, I don't think I'm posting the video until next week, but, it'll be Issa Man Official.
If you're enjoying the show, feel free to tip me on my Venmo or my CashApp. It is greatly appreciated. Make sure to go and follow me on all my social media accounts at IsabellaExtynn, and subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that red subscribe button and then ding that bell so you get notifications on everything happening on my channel. Alright, well, we are here to talk about this episode of Drag Race, and they were doing one-woman shows. I am so excited for this challenge. I think this is such a great challenge for them to do because a big avenue for a lot of the Drag Race queens to go on after the show is to do these one-woman shows.
I think it's also just really important that a drag queen can stand on a stage and tell a story. Have they done this before?
Well, so they've never technically done a one-woman show or a one-queen show, but a 5-minute one-queen show is very similar to a 5-minute stand-up set.
T.
So, like, they've kind of done it before. They just, like, packaged a challenge differently because that's the kind of comedy I do. I'm a storyteller. You know? 'Cause
I was just really shocked, like, more of the girls weren't, like, just telling personal stories, like, personal, like actual, like, I feel like Jackie was the only one that told, like, a story from, like, start to finish. And, like, I was like, when, like you said, like, when I hear one woman show, my first thought is, like, okay, tell a funny story, like, an anecdote about my life. And, like, I think Jackie was the only one that told an anecdote. They all, like, did characters.
Well, and there's a lot of different ways that you can go with a one-woman show. The main one-woman shows that I do are me telling stories from my life and making little anecdotes about that, and then somehow connecting them with a song to sing. And that's kind of my style, but I have done one-woman shows, and I've been to one-woman shows that they take on fully different characters.
No, I love talking about myself, personally.
Me too. I'm always ready to. Let's start with the top of the episode. After last week's lip sync and the double Shantae, where both Jackie and Heidi got to stay for another week, they came wandering back into the workroom, and they all sat down on the couch to have that little chat there. And I like that Gigi voiced that she was kind of annoyed. Because it's like, who would it be? Like, they were all like...
Also, it's kind of annoying, and they keep doing it, and I don't feel like the lip syncs they're doing it for are worth the double saves.
Well, and so the thing about last week's lip sync, why I do think it like did call for a double save, is because both Heidi and Jackie performed the song really, really well, just in such different styles that it's hard to even compare their performances, which I think is a very interesting commentary on drag competition as a whole. So for the last episode, Jada won the last episode, and I really, really thought it should have been Crystal's win.
Jada, I agree with you, by the way. I'm just, like, playing devil's advocate, but I feel like Jada beat her girls.
But they had a mini challenge this week, and they brought back the puppet mini challenge because everybody loves puppets.
Who said that?
Sharon Needles said that the first time they did the puppets, and ever since then, Rue has said it every single season.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
I love how, like, I asked that rhetorically, not thinking there was an actual answer. I thought you said that, and you had it.
I got the answer. I got the tea. I got the information. I had to check my sources and my data and my Rolodex. But I got it. Crystal has the Jada puppet, and it was like, okay, she got a couple little jokes in there, and then Jackie had the Sherry Pie puppet. That probably would have been funnier in the original edit, because since they cut all of Sherry Pie's stuff out, we don't have reference to any of these things that Jackie was joking about, you know?
I didn't even think about that.
Speaking of which, old SP, old Redacted, she had the Heidi puppet, and there was some physical comedy with it, but not any real jokes, you know?
Like, I feel like she's becoming less and less funny.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the editors editing her that way, now that, like, we know what we know, or, like, if that's just...
Well, I think that some of her comedy is a little redundant. Heidi had the Crystal puppet, and it was marginal at best.
This is not... I feel like the girls that are left are not really comedy queens.
Jada had the Gigi puppet, and it was not funny at all. And Gigi had the Jackie puppet, and this was a full bomb. Oh.
Who have we talked about anyone doing well yet?
Jackie did okay. We just didn't get the jokes because they were edited out. And
Shucks.
Crystal did okay. Jackie wins the mini challenge, and she gets to set the lineup for the one-woman shows. She starts it off by saying that she wants to go first. Now, if you were setting the lineup, what place would you want to put yourself in?
Honestly, I would want to go last to just
Really?
like close out the show. I feel like that's either first or last are always the best, personally.
Those are the two spots that I would choose, first or last.
Why do you think no one wanted to go last? I was like, what?
It doesn't really matter where you're at in the lineup. Go be funny. Go do your
Right?
job. Your job is to be funny.
Isabella's getting the girls in check.
Every season, there's like half of the girls where they're like, this is just so far out of my comfort zone. And it's like, no shit, Sherlock. It's supposed to be. Lineup gets set, and Jada really didn't want to close out the show. But I got where she was coming from when they're like, well, Jada, like, speak now. Are you upset about it? And she's like, well, what am I supposed to say? Everybody's already been told where they're going to be. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool.
I feel like the girls always ask, like, does anyone, like, have an objection? But it's like, if you have an objection, what is having an objection going to do? Like, they've made the decision.
Yeah.
If I was doing it, this is a competition.
Yeah.
I'm putting the weaker girls towards the back. I'm like, y'all see what happens and I'll open the show. You know what I mean?
You're on national television. They're going to throw some curveballs at you. Think on your feet. And in this episode, Gigi literally says, I just get really caught up when I have to, like, think on my feet. And I was like, so you're not witty. That's what that means. And then they get to go into rehearsal with the one and only legendary Whoopi Goldberg.
I literally just got, she's the reason why they did the color purple runway. I thought it was because of the Prince song. They should have done a night of 1,000 Whoopies. That's what I want to see.
Oh, nobody else does. But they got to have their rehearsals, and Whoopi was so amazing in those rehearsals. It started off with Jackie, went out there first, and she had a rough rehearsal.
Yeah, I feel like what like that's not really a one-woman show giving a... I mean, I guess you can give a history lesson, but like that's not the prompt.
She thought there was going to be some jokes in there, but the thing is, all of those Drag Race jokes have been told before.
Stop trying to make this season one filter happen.
Yeah. Crystal came out there for the rehearsal, and Rue just was not getting it at all. Rue was super confused. Was like, so are you going to be in drag then?
And I was like, what do you mean by that, RuPaul? What is drag?
Yeah. Gigi was out there for her rehearsal, and she was just like reading the script. My very first one-woman show that I ever did, it was an hour and a half one-woman show, but I had basically an entire script. I learned very quickly that you cannot do a one-woman show with a script. The next day, they come in, having some mirror chats, and Heidi's telling all sorts of stories about back in Ram Sewer, and she gets deemed the Rose Nyland of the season.
It took me... So
Did you not know who Rose Nyland was?
I know who Rose Nyland is. I just didn't know her last name. I was like... I don't know any of the Golden Girls' last names. I didn't know they had last names.
Blanche Devereaux, Dorothy
I know Blanche
Thornack,
Devereaux.
Sophia Petrillo.
That just sounds like a Judy to me.
I'll tell you what. Rue came kicking it down the runway, looking absolutely stunning. This purple sequin, like, draped moment. Full leg
wig,
out.
the little...
One thing that was really crazy to me was Rue was in a purple dress. And the runway theme was the color purple. And Rue never dresses in the runway theme. Never.
Do you think she did it for Whoopi? She did it for Whoopi.
I mean, I would assume so. The guest judge this week, like we've talked about already, is Whoopi Goldberg. And I think Whoopi was an amazing guest judge. She gave really amazing advice and insights, and was just like really personable with the girls. Whoopi was also stoned through this entire episode.
I was hoping you would say it so I didn't have to. Guest judges this season, I don't know what it's been, but like I've just been like top tier. Whoopi Goldberg is the best top.
Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg is a power top. Oh, and then Dahlia there as sexy broccoli. I'll tell you what. They are trying to make us eat our broccoli, okay?
I'm like, Dahlia did not want to be there.
I thought it was funny when Michelle was like, she's stalking us. It's a nice little wordplay there. I love wordplay. Anal play and wordplay. Those are my two favorite plays. So they did their one queen shows. We started off with Jackie, and this was a strong start to the show. She did this story about her mom and dad and the white feather boa that her mom found.
Yeah, I feel like that's like what I want to hear about your life as a performer. Like, I want to hear anecdotes about your life of going to see an entire show that's just about you. And I don't know, I thought it was just like honestly beautiful.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. It was so smart. It was staged very beautifully.
She distinguished, like, hey, these are going to be the characters I'm switching into. You're going to know what I'm switching into these characters. She did the work for the audience, and I don't feel like Heidi did that at all. Like, Heidi made it so much harder for herself.
But the second one out was Crystal, and she did phenomenal Phil, exotic male dance trainer. And this was so stupid.
I loved it. I loved it.
This is the kind of comedy that I love. The moves she was doing were cracking me up, and you could just tell how much fun she was having.
I just wished that, like, it could have been funny while also still, like, getting to know her a little bit more.
With how funny she was, I didn't miss that aspect of it, you know?
No, it was hilarious.
Heidi came after her, and like you were saying, Heidi just didn't set up the premise enough. Heidi is very funny, very charming, and very charismatic, but she doesn't know how to lace all that into a storytelling.
I wouldn't even be mad necessarily if she, like, did the same routine, but, like, did it with, like, a generic outfit and, like, had, like, what you were saying, where, like, she was just, like, switching wigs, just, like, something a little bit more, I don't know, just a little bit more.
Yeah, she just never really told us how to tell when she was being which character, and so you just kind of had to do the guesswork. She didn't have enough jokes, you know?
She also didn't, I think, like, that was the thing, too. I don't think she necessarily needed more jokes. There was no plot. She wasn't going anywhere with it.
After Heidi was Gigi, and Gigi actually, I thought, did a pretty good job. She had some pretty funny jokes in there, but she could have gone so much further with it.
I loved how she was picking on the audience. I feel like she was the only one that, like, really interacted with the audience, which is really, really smart.
The funniest thing that she did in the entire thing was when she was leaving and just yelled out, "Go f*** yourself, Gary."
I was screaming.
That, I lost it. That was the funniest thing. After that was Sherry Pie. And
why didn't the producers cut her off? Like, I was confused by that. If, like, that was, like,
so that they
thing,
could put a shady edit in with showing how many minutes had gone by. I mean, and also so that it is more effective story producing to let this person go on for 18 minutes and see what chaos and drama that causes than to cut them off at the time you told them they were supposed to stop.
How would you feel if, like, the girl before you took 18 minutes when she's only supposed to be 5 minutes?
I would be pissed. I would be absolutely pissed. And the first thing I would do when I walked out there is I would make fun of her to the audience for taking so much time. Because I would put it in the audience head that this bitch just took us on an hour-long journey and you only paid for a 5-minute taste here, you know? Unfortunately for Jada, she walked out there and started on her story, and it was a personal story. It just wasn't that funny of a personal story.
I think it could have been...
It could have been...
I don't know what it was missing, but it could have been, like, a great personal story.
She just wasn't... She wasn't delivering it very well. And then... The point when she looked over at the audience and she's like, "Oh, y'all are not feeling this at all." At
That's
that point,
hilarious.
she needed to abandon the story. And
You think she should have just switched stories entirely?
yep. What I'd have done in that situation, I would have walked right up to the edge of the stage and been like, and ladies and gentlemen, that is a demonstration on what it sounds like when a joke bombs. It was unfortunate to watch.
It was fun to watch.
But after the one-woman shows, it came down to the runway, and the runway theme this week was the color purple. As you recently figured out, it's because Whoopi was there. Jackie is first down the runway, and she is in her one-horned, one-eyed, flying purple people eater costume.
How did you feel about it?
I loved it.
No!
You hated it?
No, really?
Yeah. You didn't
So,
like
okay,
it?
we'll see this. Okay. I don't know what it's been for me. I don't know what it is, and I just think that I just don't think I like. I have not liked a single look Jackie has done the entire season. I think she's really funny and really talented. This was her best look, though, that she's ever done.
Well, and this was a complete departure for
Exactly.
Jackie. The next one down the runway was Crystal, and I loved this. It was so cute. It was like a cow, sort of.
Like a high fashion paper clown, like a cloth clown or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And Crystal is one of those queens that proves that you can make high fashion from thrift stores. Because her Bert and Ernie look came from thrift stores, and that was high fashion and gorgeous. One of the best looks on this entire season was her Freddy Krueger look from the fall runway. And that was sweaters that she got at a thrift store and safety pinned together. Next up is Heidi down the runway, and she was wearing like an eggplant-colored lace gown. She looked really pretty.
Yeah, I actually really liked the look. It was very simple.
Yeah. The next one down the runway was Gigi, and she was given some Daphne from Scooby-Doo. And I loved how she was like, I'm slightly referencing a childhood memory. And I was like, girl, this is nail on the head reference right here. Spot on.
Yeah, because they can't come right out and say it because of like copyright, right?
Yeah. As Gigi was getting to the end of the runway, about to walk off stage, RuPaul was like, and I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. And I was like, what, fracking? Oh, Alison Massey was next. She was in like the Cheshire Cat look. It was cute.
It was really cute.
Yeah,
It was stunning. I'm gonna steal that gold leaf eye thing. It's fucking beautiful.
Totally gonna do it. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. And the final one down the runway was Jada, and she was giving me like full Prince vibes. It was and those big
The
shoulders.
fabric choice. The fabric looked expensive.
Yeah. During the deliberation, I really appreciated that Michelle brought up with Sherry Pie how self-indulgent it was to go on for 18 minutes. Because I was in a show with a queen that would go on forever and ever and ever. And she started the show, and she would do at least a 30-minute monologue every single show to start off the show. It was very clear that Jackie and Crystal were the top two of the week. Sherry and Gigi were kind of just like the mids of the week. And Sherry was in the middle because her set was really funny. She did the job. She just talked for too long.
I don't know. I feel like, honestly, I mean, I guess I get from like a producer standpoint that they were just kind of like, we're not going to say anything. We're going to let you dig your own hole. But from like a judging standpoint, I would have been like, you're in the bottom too. Like, we have to disqualify you. We said 5 minutes.
You know, looking back now, I'm sure that the producers are wishing that they would have put Sherry in the bottom on that episode and sent her home. And the bottom two were Jada and Heidi, which I agreed with. And then the episode winner ended up being Crystal, finally! Jackie was a very close second in this. Again, bottom two ended up being Jada and Heidi, and they had to lip sync to 1999 by Prince. And
I feel like more queens need to be doing Prince, and like this lip sync is flat.
I feel like a lot more queens need to be doing a lot more like gender fluid artists.
No matter how good of a lip syncer you are, like from a technical stance, like at the end of the day, the audience knows you're not actually singing it, so you can do whatever you want.
And this was such a good lip sync. They were both giving it. And Jada ends up winning. Heidi goes home. And it was real sad. She was crying.
Do you think you would cry if you were eliminated on Drag Race?
Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not a big crier, honestly, until I start crying. And then I'll let loose.
Oh, I love to cry. I love a good cry.
We have now reached our episode wrap-up. It is time for the gift, the gag, and the goop. Now, the gift is your favorite moment from the episode. The gag is the most shocking moment from the episode. And the goop is the shadiest moment from the episode. So what was your gift from this episode?
You're gonna hate me, but it was the Rose, what's her last name? Rose
Nyland?
Nyland.
Oh my
and like
god.
Jada not getting it. Because I honestly in the moment did not get it either. I was like, oh, they're just talking about like some friend or something.
Kids,
that was my favorite.
all you kids out there, educate yourself on the Golden Girls because this is an important piece of history. Watch every episode.
Queer history. Queer history.
My gift for this episode is that Crystal finally won a challenge! So, what was your gag for this episode?
I really hate talking about this person, but I guess like the most shocking part was like when you know someone's terrible, like having these like little anecdotes of like, oh, well, like she also just like took 18 minutes of everyone's time.
My gag for this episode is how shook up Gigi was the entire episode.
I think she's like a perfectionist and very much so like wants things to go exactly and specifically her way.
So what was your goop for the episode, the shadiest moment?
My goop for the episode is is RuPaul still referring to the RuPaul milking Miss Elle DeBarge song?
Oh, my goop for this episode, the shadiest point, was Sherry Pie talking for 18 minutes. That's shady. Make sure to follow Issa on all of her social media accounts at Issa Man Official and tip her on her Venmo at Issa Man Official. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you joining me today to chat about this episode and about the one-woman shows. It was a very interesting, very exciting episode, and finally Crystal won.
We stand Crystal on this episode.
Yes, we do. On every episode, we stand Crystal. If you like the content I'm putting out here on my YouTube channel, feel free to tip me at my Venmo or my CashApp. It is really appreciated. Also, make sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts at IsabellaExtynn. And subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that red subscribe button and then ding that bell so you get notifications on everything I post here on YouTube. I'll be back next week with a brand new guest to discuss Episode 12 of Season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So come on back next week. I'll see you all soon.